in the last days. Only true believers shall be saved. Do you know? Do you know there is another fellowship in heaven? I know. I know there is another fellowship in heaven. Will you be there? I will be there. Okay, guys, here's another dream. Well, another incident that I was planning on sharing for October, and I may very well share this one in October. I don't know. There's no reason to share it now, but I'm going to record it now because I may forget. T.B. Joshua at one point in his ministry said that he was my prayer partner, and I didn't have one, so I latched onto that. So every morning and every night, I would pray for him, and I would pray with him because he was my prayer partner. And if he didn't come on Emmanuel TV for a while, that was my cue that we were praying at the mountain. So I would hit my couch, which was my mountain, and I'd try to hang in there with T.B. Joshua as much as I could. I wasn't very good. I was kind of like the disciples when Jesus would say to them, couldn't you even pray for an hour? I would fall asleep. Not that I was sleepy, but I would still pray with him because I took him being my prayer partner seriously. It's hard for me to get a prayer partner. Most people want to be prayed for, but just to lay in prayer and not have a target, just the will of God, people aren't interested in that. People, you say you're praying, you say you're fasting, people like, oh, pray for this one, pray for that one, pray for this one, pray for that one. I'm not T.B. Joshua. I don't take requests, God hasn't called to everybody for that. Some people are called to be construction workers, I'm called to pray, but not request, I am not a priest. I am not a pastor. I am none of that. I only got one prayer partner on earth, which is also in heaven. That's Jesus Christ. I'm down to that one. Part of my trios moved on to glory. So please, don't try to tax me now that I'm one man down. Up until the Lord blessed me with a new prayer partner who is just a person that prays like I do. I'm not saying that I pray on T.B. Joshua's level, but I'm still alive and trying to get there. I was blessed to have such a holy and anointed prayer partner. It's hard to come by, but God said he was my prayer partner, and that was it. I wasn't going to ask twice. I took hold of that, and I kept it. So in any event, I pray. I'm in California, so our times are kind of different. When I'm waking up in the morning, he's preparing for dinner and going to bed. And no, let me get this straight. I think when I wake up in the morning in Lagos, Nigeria, they are getting out of church. And when I am preparing for bed, he is asleep. So I think they wake up while I'm asleep. Their morning is while I'm asleep. So I think it's like an 8-hour time difference. Whatever it is, when I wake up in the morning and I pray for him, he's awake. But when I go to sleep at night, he is usually already asleep. And so that would be how it would go. So I'd be covering him. It was like we were on different ships. I would be covering him while he slept, and I would be covering him while he was doing his work at the Sloan. So I could feel that I had a prayer partner. And on the day that he died, you know, because the commandments with reference to the living in a body is one thing, and then the commandments when reference to a person who is living in heaven, it is completely different. So on the day that he died, there was an earthquake in my room, and I was still asleep. I was in a dreamlike state. There was an earthquake in my room, and an entity landed in my room that looked like a, I guess for lack of a better term, like a elf or a troll. It was not very tall, but it had the form of a human being of sorts. It had the shape, it had a longer head and a shorter body, but this thing was like a white light, and it caused an earthquake when it entered my room. And when it entered my room, I have a small room. I'm not a big to-do. It was on the right side of my bed at the far end, so it wasn't near my head. It was almost at the furthest place it could be from me in my room. And it woke me up, and I looked at this spirit, and I did tell you it was white light. So it was like a yellowy white light. So it was definitely a spirit, but it had taken the shape and form of a man. And the hair was kind of afroic, but maybe a couple of inches long. Not like a huge afro, but like a couple of inches long afro. It wasn't straight white people's hair. I could make all this out, and I looked at it, and I said to myself, oh, this devil has come to fight with me. And I didn't know what the fight was over, but I was excited for the battle. I was excited for the battle. And then I heard in my heart, he will be defeated, or you will be defeated. And it was like it was TB Joshua's voice. And as I heard the voice, because I was waking up to fight this thing myself. I was waking up to fight this battle. And I was looking forward to whooping the devil. Because see, when you are a prayer warrior and a demon comes to you to fight, you don't know what you're in the fight for. But usually when it comes to you like that, the battle is not over yourself or your own family. It means that you are in warfare for someone else. But the most strange thing happened. As I was waking up to fight, and I wanted to fight this thing. I wanted to defeat it. And I've had these battles before and been victorious. I've fought for my mentor in the Lord, whose feet I sat under, Pastor Benny Hinn. I sat under his feet for years. And I fought with a witch in Brazil in the spirit over him for 8 hours. I tore that coven up in the Lord. When I woke up in the morning, when I woke up when I went to bed in the morning after fighting that coven with the sword of the Spirit, every witch in the coven had been delivered, and the head of the coven went and found Pastor TB Joshua in Brazil and told him, what God is this you serve? And she was delivered and accepted Jesus as her Savior. So I was up for this fight in my mind. I was ready. I was looking forward to it. I felt like this is going to make my COVID, I'm in this room by myself. I've been by myself this whole time. That's what I need. I need a good devil whooping. I need to deliver a whole country somewhere. I need to let these people in the occult know that Jesus is real. Let's go. And as I was waking up, you like this. I was like, I was ready. And as I was waking up, I was putting on my armor. My helmet of salvation was on. I could feel myself. I didn't have my sword in my hand yet. I was waking up, but I was about to use it. I know how to use it. And I could feel me putting on my breastplate of righteousness. I was preparing for battle. I had my shield of faith. I was full of faith already. I never got to feel my feet, you guys. When I got to this point, I just was raised up in bed. You know how a warrior will raise up from their stomach to fight, and they could be to their feet in no time? Had I been to my feet, I would have been face to face with that devil and fighting, because it was at my feet. But in any event, as I heard the voice, "You will be defeated," I now realize that voice sounded like TB Joshua's voice. But this was obviously a voice in my heart. The Spirit of God was speaking to me. And God normally whispers, and it's very peaceful. So I took this voice as my voice. But my voice is usually around this area. But I was feeling this voice from all of me. And what happened was, as I said, or as I heard, as I said, I remember my voice said, "You coming to fight with me." And I saw this thing defeated in my spirit. And then I heard the secondary voice, which sounded like TB Joshua's voice, saying, "You will be defeated." I fell asleep. I mean, knocked out cold. And it couldn't have been natural, because I wanted to fight. And when I woke up, the whole thing was over. I mean, the whole thing was over. I don't know what time I woke up, but the battle was over. And I got up at that time, and that spirit was still in the corner of my room, but it was kind of hidden. And normally, the first thing I do when I wake up is I pray for TB Joshua and I. And I woke up, and the thing was laying in wait, because a Christian doesn't pray for dead people. A Christian only prays for live people. The living have no communication with the dead in Christ. We'll see them when we get to the other side. But anyway, I got up, and that thing was like peering out from a somewhat hidden spot at me. And I woke up, and I got out of bed, or I was still in bed, and I would normally be saying these prayers for TB Joshua and I. And I listened, and that spirit didn't know I don't pray a word of my own. So I was waiting for God to say the prayer and for me to repeat it after him. And nothing happened. I didn't hear it. And I got out of bed, and I checked my phone, and I found out why God didn't tell me to pray for TB Joshua. I'll tell you what I did in another video if I have the heart.